feel like getting up and going to school, even though the way the school system is set up, they make it seem like you should be able to get up at 7 a.m. every day, make it to school by 8, and be ready to learn for the next 8 hours of your day. Well, I'm here to tell you that the system is all a lie. Hello everyone, I'm back. It's the Day J and welcome to my channel. On my channel I post everything from fashion to personal development to lifestyle and vlogs. I'm glad you made it to this side of YouTube. Welcome. Be free to check out my channel and all my videos to kind of get the overall vibe of my channel. I just started out a few months ago, kind of at the beginning of this year with YouTube, and I plan to pursue much longer with YouTube and grow a community, build a community, and yes. So the topic of today's video is laziness does not exist. And I kind of coined this term. I did not coin this term, but I got this term from a book that I'm currently reading right now. I'm going to show you guys. One second. So I kind of got the term from the book I'm currently reading that I got from my public library. It's called Laziness Does Not Exist by Devon Price. Essentially, he talks a lot about the laziness myth. Basically, like, all of our lives we're told that laziness is bad, we should not be lazy, we should always, have energy to do the things that we should be doing and that we want to be doing, and if we don't have that energy, we are deemed lazy. And when you are deemed lazy, basically that's overall a bad thing. Basically saying that you don't put effort or time into things that could improve your life, pretty much. This book has really changed my perspective on laziness, because at points in my life I would think that I was being lazy because I didn't want to get up and work out every single day. I didn't want to get up and maybe film YouTube videos or TikToks and Instagram videos. Maybe I did not feel like getting up and going to school, even though the way the school system is set up, they make it seem like you should be able to get up at 7 a.m. every day, make it to school by 8, and be ready to learn for the next 8 hours of your day. Well, I'm here to tell you that the system is all a lie, and basically the system is constructed up in a way that does not favor us. For example, like the 40-hour work week is way too much for us to actually handle. I know by Friday a lot of us feel depleted and just ready for the weekend, and by the time Saturday comes, like, we're pretty much in our bed, depleted of any energy that could be used for our hobbies or hanging out with family and friends, or just things like doing the laundry or the dishes in your house. You feel depleted because your workplace has taken all of your energy, and now you feel like you're lazy because you don't have any energy to do anything else. There has been multiple studies done saying that the 40-hour work week is overworking us in America. I do believe in Europe, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I believe they have shorter work weeks, or at least it's more normalized that some people have shorter work weeks than the 40-hour work week. More so relating to me, like, I just finished my I just finished my first year of college, and let me tell you, it was something, to say the least. I recognized a lot of stuff about myself when it comes to like productivity, time management, discipline, motivation, all of those things. I learned so much because college requires a lot of those things. I learned a lot about those things within myself. So I'm a full-time college student. I go to school from 9 to 3 Monday through Friday. And much as during the school year, much of my time is devoted to studying, doing homework, reading, being in class, things of that nature. The entire year, I felt so guilty for not reaching out to my friends like I felt like I should have, not talking and interacting with my family like I felt like I should have, not doing things with my boyfriend like I felt like I should have, not putting my energy into my hobbies like creating content or being outside in nature. I felt so depleted during the year, and I really kept blaming myself. I did understand that I did have a much larger workload than high school, and that it was a change. But overall, like, I felt very guilty of really just devoting all my time to school and then not having any other time for the things I love to do. I felt like I was lazy pretty much. But honestly, after kind of being more self-aware, learning more about like how much our bodies can really handle mentally and physically, after reading some of this book, I'm actually not finished, I'm almost done. I just want you guys to realize that it's really hard. Like, we make it seem like it's so easy to just go to work for 40 hours a week, or sorry, go to work for 8 hours a day, come home, and usually, you know, you're home by like 5 p.m. if you work typical hours. You're home by 5 p.m. Usually you have a family, or you have other responsibilities like laundry or cleaning up your home, or maybe your car has some maintenance issues or things like that. You know, if you have a family, you know, maybe there's sporting events that your children have to go to. Maybe you planned a date night with your husband or your boyfriend. Like, I feel as though social media, just like media in general, our generation has made it seem like it's so easy to go to work for 8 hours a day, come home and work on your hobby and have time for your family and friends and have time for your self-care. Like, it's just not realistic at all. Most of us need to be in bed by 10 p.m. to have at least a decent night rest. So basically from the time you get home, from the time you have to lay down in bed, you have about 5 hours. Like I said, if you work that typical work week. And like I said, at least 1 hour I feel like personally, at least 1 hour should be spent on self-care, at least, like taking a shower, doing your hair, moisturizing your body, exercising, something like that. You need to eat, so that's at least 30 minutes or so. I want to read one of the lines from out of the Laziness the Laziness Does Not Exist book on page 35, kind of the middle of the page. Devon says, we live in an economically uncertain time, with many industries being disrupted or automated. Freelance jobs and gigs have replaced reliable full-time employment for many people, creating an environment of uncertainty and competition. Digital tools like email and Slack have eroded the boundary between home and the office, making it difficult to ever truly take time off. We live in a time where people feel like you always have to be working, you always have to be producing, you always have to be showing up, even outside of the 9 to 5 work hours. I know I hear from a lot of like YouTubers and like content creators, a lot of them work far past 5 p.m. every day because they feel like if they don't work above and beyond, somebody else is going to take their place on the internet. And that's pretty much what he means by the uncertainty that we live in. And then another line that really stands out to me, which is so true, it says, meanwhile, social media reminds us consistently of what other people are doing and accomplishing, making us all feel like failures who just cannot keep up. So obviously, social media has a huge part to play in the laziness lie, I believe. I believe that people post picture perfect videos and obviously photos and posts and make us believe in a perfect life or a perfect way of living, or make us believe that we should always be doing something, we should always be doing the next thing, we should always be hopping on the next trend, keeping up with the Joneses basically. Like, but like, it's so, like, it gets so tiring very quickly. You very easily, very quickly begin to feel inauthentic when you consistently hop on every trend. You're doing everything everybody else is doing. Like, you really feel like you will quickly lose yourself if you get down that rabbit hole, feeling like you have to hop on the wave, right? And I wish there's more, like, there is a lot more now compared to, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, 6-7 years ago. There's a lot more transparency shown here online by the creators, but I do think there should be a little bit more. I do think that some creators, not all by any means, kind of put up a false narrative, a false reality, a unrealistic reality of always producing, always working. I want you guys to understand that it's totally okay to have certain periods in your life when you're not working on anything. Sorry you guys, I had to handle something, so I had to cut the clip, but we're back. Being okay, like, you have to be okay with like these certain periods in your life, these certain days, certain weeks, certain months, certain quarters. Just depends on what's going on. Maybe you're not doing all of these extra hobbies and tasks on top of working or going to school, because maybe going to school or working or whatever you're doing as your main priority is the only thing that you have capacity for, and that's totally okay. I want you guys to be okay with that. I really feel like the media in our generation just really feels like you always have to be working, but not just working. On top of that, pursuing your hobbies and your dreams and your goals and all of that all at once, all the time. Like, I just want you guys to really remove that narrative and be okay with not doing anything. And when you do nothing, when you do lay in your bed and do nothing, there are going to be thoughts that come up like, I should be working out, or I should be reading a book, or I should be watching a personal development podcast, or I should be planning out my month. I should be producing content. I should be editing my content. Like, there's so many thoughts. I know for me personally, when I decide to do nothing, when I decide to relax, to chill out, I notice all of these thoughts that come up in my head, and usually they come up because I have been trained to think this way, not because I truly think this way. I end up thinking things like, oh, if I don't create content, I'm never gonna grow. If I don't edit my videos, I'll never ever get them posted. Nobody will ever see them. If I don't go work out today, all of my progress has been lost, and I'm gonna have to start all the way from day one, square one. These limiting beliefs like to pop up when you choose to relax, when you choose to give your body and mind a break. But I want you guys to move past these thoughts and actually think about how you feel when you're constantly going. I know for me, when I'm going, and I don't allow time for relaxation, I usually tend to fall off a lot of the things that I plan to do. So for example, if I have a really tight structured week and it's packed with work, school, creating content, hanging out with friends, usually when my week is filled and packed like that, I usually find myself falling off of certain things like working out or eating right, or basically that's mainly the main things for me: working out, eating right, reading, journaling. Like, usually those are the things I tend to fall off on when I am overworked, when I'm overdoing things. So usually then the next week or that week is over, and usually I feel pretty guilty for not working out, for not eating as good as I thought I could, for not reading as much as I was on my phone maybe, or for not journaling out my thoughts. Usually at the end of a week like that, I feel really anxious, I feel depleted, I don't feel fulfilled, because I actually have not I have basically overworked myself to a point where I eliminated those things that really actually refill and recharge me, such as working out, eating right, reading, journaling, things like that. I want you guys to begin to tell yourself that your achievements are not your worth. The amount of achievements that you have does not equal how worthy you are of having X, Y, and Z, of having that relationship, of having that career, of having the money. I just want you guys to know that, like, your worth really comes from within, and really who you are, your soul, your authenticity, and what you stand for. That's your worth, and that's and how highly you think of yourself and others, how you view the world is your worth, not your achievements. So we live in a society where we really run off of external validation and things just outside of ourselves. Achievements, for example, getting that career. You feel like as soon as you get that career, or you get that new car or that new apartment, you feel like you will then be worthy to have the guy that you feel that you should have. But why can't you have that now? I want you to ask yourself that. Why can you not have the things you want now without having to prove to the world what you can achieve? Like, do you solely feel worthy of these things without having to do anything as far as like producing and achieving? Can you just overall be a good person and be able to accept these things? I do truly believe that, but there's also, I want to be very clear here. I'm being kind of not very clear with my words. I do want to emphasize the fact that you do have to take action in order to see results, but you do not have to take action in a way that you are just trying to achieve a goal or get something in order to get something else and to prove to yourself or to other people, you know, you're worth having whatever you want. What's really helped me convert to the word of recharging and refueling instead of the word lazy is honestly staying off of social media. I am a content creator, and I do have to be on social media to find, you know, inspiration or to see certain trends that are going on or to find sounds. Is usually why I'm scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. But I really don't consume that much content because it's so detrimental to things like this. It's so easy to get on Instagram or TikTok and instantly feel like you've wasted half of your day, or feel like you've been lazy your entire life because you see some girl doing X, Y, and Z, all of the things, you know, in videos on TikTok and Instagram. But what I want you guys to realize is that you guys are just seeing a fraction of their life, just a little tiny piece of their life, and you don't see what, like, everything else they do. They could work out and eat right and do all the good things in those videos, and then as soon as they turn off the camera, it's none of that. But yeah, having like phone-free periods or just times where I am not consuming any content at all has really helped me. And usually these are in times where I'm needing to recharge. So at the end of a really chaotic week, usually I don't like to go on social media and scroll, because then I instantly feel like I should be doing something. I should be producing, creating content. And then I instantly feel guilty, and then those thoughts come popping up into my head, like, you're not worth this, you're not worthy of having, you know, the things that you want. You can't have X, Y, and Z because you are being quote unquote lazy. And really, that's not the case. I'm taking this time to recharge and to refuel so that I can show up the next day how I want to show up. Another thing kind of relating to laziness, but also just like with anything you're creating or anything you're working on, I want you guys to really start focusing on the process instead of the product. And I'm honestly still personally working on this, like with my YouTube, with my Instagram and TikTok. I have been pouring a lot of time into my channels, into my social media presence. And a lot of the time limiting beliefs come up, and I think that I will never see a return on my investments. I would never ever see the numbers I would love to see. I'm never ever going to be able to build a community. Like, all of these limiting beliefs pop up in my head when it comes to me creating content. It's been really hard for the last month for me to actually get up and batch film, because I'll plan my entire month out and say, like, I'm gonna batch film on these days, and then those days come up and then I don't end up doing anything. And usually that's because I feel like if I batch film, if I spend 2 to 4 hours filming and producing this content so that I can have it for the next week or two, I feel like all of that time has been wasted. All of my numbers are going to stay the same. I'm not going to gain any more followers. Nothing is going to happen. I'm just going to post this content and I'm not going to see any return on my work. But really, I've been journaling a lot, and I've been writing down things I really love about the process of creating videos, and the beauty of not having tons of subscribers and followers in the beginning, especially when, like, you're first starting out, because a lot of your videos are not going to be the best. They might be a little cringy. I know for me, I even look back, like, from last year, my first video, I'm like, wow, I could have done a lot better on that. You know, the sound or the text or the clips or whatever, I could have done a lot better. But with not having tons of followers or tons of subscribers, a lot of people are not seeing that, and a lot of people are not deeming that video as, like, who you are. A lot of us, like, we like to connect you know, certain like how certain creators make their videos to them. Basically, if you have a lot of followers and you begin making crappy videos, that's what people are going to know you for. But if you only have a couple hundred subscribers, if you only have a few, you know, a couple thousand followers on Instagram, there's not going to be a ton of people looking at those crappy videos that you made. And you guys know what I mean, okay? I really just, I gotta learn. Like, I'm in the midst of doing this right now, of enjoying the process and understanding that a process is a process. Another tip that has helped me is understanding that I do not have to be an expert at everything. I don't have to know everything about a certain topic or subject before I actually start doing that thing. I know for me, that held me back for so long when it comes to content creation. I feel like I had to know every single little thing when it comes to creating content, every single little thing. Like, y'all, I was on a rampage watching every single YouTube video there was out there on creating a YouTube channel and just having a social media presence overall. I wanted to have all the equipment, the camera, the tripod, the ring light, the everything before I started, and I realized, like, it's gonna be a long while before I can even afford all of that equipment, and it's not even realistic to learn everything at once, right? I'm a big believer in just starting. As long as you have decent knowledge on the subject and the topic and you feel confident enough to begin, I say just begin. Stop waiting to know everything. Stop waiting to talk to that one person who you think has all of the, you know, the knowledge and the wisdom about it. Just do it, because you'll eventually be able to talk to that person. And then once you have talked to that person, at least you already started, so you already have a foot in the door with whatever you're trying to do. I just think the sooner you start, the sooner you can be an expert in that thing. And also knowing that nobody starts an expert. Everybody starts as beginners and newbies in a subject and a topic, and you just cannot know everything. So biggest takeaway from this is just, like, if you feel tired, if you feel depleted, rest. Like, it's just that simple. Please stop overworking yourself. I also do want to acknowledge there are circumstances where you must overwork yourself to sustain a living or to sustain your family, you know, your home and everything like that. I completely understand that. But if that's not your circumstance, if you don't necessarily have to overwork yourself, please stop. Only put enough on your plate to where you can sustain it all. So if you cannot every week consistently work out, go to work, take care of your children, work on that one hobby you picked up, and have a date night with your husband. If you can't comfortably fit all of that into your week, I would say you probably just have to, remove one thing, and all of your time slots do not have to be filled. And that's just the truth. I think that our generation, our society, the media has really taught us that every slot of our time, besides us being sleep, has to be filled with doing something productive, when that's really not the case, because our brain does not have the capacity to be that productive all the time. But yeah, I think that is it for this rant. I definitely have a lot more to say on the topic regarding hustle culture, things of that nature. I have so much to say around the topic, and I definitely do more videos in the future around this subject. And I'll definitely let you guys know on my Instagram and TikTok how this book was once I finish it. I'm pretty much a little over halfway through, so definitely let you guys know like my ratings for this book, my main takeaways, and everything like that. Be sure to follow me on my social medias at TheDayDayJ, the same as my YouTube. Rewatch this video as many times as you need to. Send it to a friend, send it to a family member, whoever needs to hear it. And I love you guys. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.
Show me room, like my bitches are coming too. That's my role, you're so full. If you think that you're bull, but it's not to me like glue. Don't rock dress, okay, my rock one, okay, don't rock two.